Now, let's go on to talk about different forms of government. Now, government, George Washington said that government is not eloquence. It is not reason. It is force. And like fire, it is a dangerous servant and a fearful master. Basically, he admits that we need some government. I mean, if you're going to cook your food and stay warm, you need fire. But you've got to keep it under control. If it gets out of control and you catch the forest on fire, where are you going to live? Now, government is power. It is the authorized use of force. Now, depending on where that power comes from, we have different forms of government. The first form of government was monarchy, where one person has all the power. That was the king, the emperor. It's good to be king, because you don't have to answer to anybody. Now, if the king wants to create a law, does he, ask people for their opinion? Does he send it out for a vote? No. He just signs the proclamation. Ta-da! I have a law. And you've got two choices. You can either follow the law or dance on the end of a rope. That's a monarchy, where all the power is in one person. Now, if we take the power and shift it out a little bit to a small group of people, you have an oligarchy, also known as an aristocracy. Us and them. We make the power, we make the rules, and you follow the rules. Isn't that great? Guess what? If I am making the rules, all the rules are going to benefit me. And you are going to be on the short end of the stick, as they say. That is an oligarchy. Forms of oligarchy are socialism and communism, where they make the rules and you got to follow them. Now, let's take that power and spread it out just a little bit more. Now, everybody has power. That's called a democracy. That is rule by the many. Now, democracy is majority rule. Isn't that great? How many people want to vote for democracy? Well, in a democracy, what they don't tell you is that the minority loses. You have no rights in a democracy. You only have privileges, which are granted to you by the will of the majority. So if most of us vote, we will let you keep your house. Otherwise, we're going to take it away from you. Let's assume that all of us are landowners, and we all have about the same amount of land. And John here has land with water on it. And I want some of the water. So I go to John and I ask John if he'll sell me his land. John says, no. No, it's been in my family for 6 generations. It's my grandfathers and great-grandfathers. Just don't want to sell it. And well, okay, we're a democracy. And so I'm going to put it up to a vote. I'm going to vote that we take John's land and divide it up. Everybody gets a little piece of John's land. How many people want to vote for John's land? Right? Okay, John, you get to vote because this is a democracy.
Right.
Right? You lose.
Right. Mob rule.
Mob rule. That's exactly what democracy is. The Founding Fathers loathed a democracy. They hated democracy. They called it tyranny of the majority. Now, Alexander Fraser Tytler said that a democracy cannot exist as a permanent form of government. It can only exist until the voters discover that they can vote themselves largesse from the public treasury. From that moment on, the majority always votes for the candidates promising the most benefits from the public treasury, with the result that a democracy always collapses over loose fiscal policy and followed always by a dictatorship. The average age of the world's greatest civilizations has been 200 years. How long has the United States been around? About 225 years. Anybody kind of see sort of a correlation there? The United States government is basically going down the tubes very quickly if we don't stop it and get people to stop thinking of this as a democracy. Oh, people don't think of this as a democracy. I hear it on the news all the time. You watch, all these network news stations, so you go, well, we got to make the world safe for democracy. I don't want to make the world safe for democracy. I want to eliminate democracy. What type of government do we have?
Republic.
We have a republic. We just pledge allegiance to the flag and to the republic for which it stands. Go to Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government. It's not a debate. I can point to it in black and white. The question is, what's a republic? Don't we get to vote? Yes. Aren't we a democracy? No. How is a democracy different than a republic? In a republic, it is based on individual rights. It is based on property. In a republic, we can vote on everything except your property. In a republic, the right and property of the minority is supposedly protected. So if my little group here is a republic and I want to take John's land, the purpose of the republic is to say, no, that's not your land, that's John's land. Even if all of us want John's land, the government is supposed to step in and protect John. The right and property of the minority is protected from the majority. So one person and the law will overrule 285 million votes in the United States. It's not yours. There are certain things you don't get to vote on. That's the difference. And every time you hear them say democracy on TV, pick up the telephone and call them in your most aggravated voice and say, this is not a democracy. This is a republic. Now, we have democracy spelled with a small d, and we have republic spelled with a small r. Those are forms of government. Those are not political parties. We have a Democratic Party spelled with a capital D, and we have a Republican Party spelled with a capital R. But they have no correlation whatsoever to democracy and republic. They are just forms of government. Each one of those parties wants a certain part of your liberty. Now, it's a generalization, and I know that we can find exceptions. However, in general, the Democrats say you can think anything you want. You have all sorts of rights. You want to read Playboy? Go ahead. You want to have abortion? Go ahead. All that stuff is okay. The problem is, it's not your money. We're going to take your taxes, and we're going to spend your taxes for you. I mean, you're just too busy to decide how to spend all that money. So we're going to take your money and we're going to spend it for you on all these really good causes. Now, the Republicans say, no, 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 that's not right. That's your money. You should keep your money. But you should think like we do. We want you to be white, Anglo-Saxon, Protestant, Christian, go to church. We want you to look like us. We want you to think like us. That Playboy magazine is evil. No, we want to control the way